What's up guys, Green here, back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some of the funniest and most ridiculous things that happened while I was in middle school. If you end up liking the video, why don't you hit the sub button? All it costs is 1 second of your time and you can always unsubscribe later. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the video. So for a bit of context, I had been moving schools my whole elementary school experience. I had gone to 2 public schools, 1 private school, and been homeschooled. This was a result of moving houses a lot. I told my parents going into middle school that I didn't want to have to leave halfway through. I went to a private Christian school that was like in a shared building with a church. My 6th grade year, I was one of the 3 outcasts in the class for a while. No one really invited me to do anything or work together, even though there was like a lot of group projects. Towards the end of the year, I started socializing with other friend groups and found some friends. I remember 2 ridiculous things we did in 6th grade. I recall in history class it was a big bottle of hand sanitizer provided by the teacher. Being the genius people we were, we would go up, get about 5 squirts of hand sanitizer, and we would go back to our seat and take a big sniff. It was kind of an accomplishment if you didn't like tear up or cough while doing it. Yeah, 6th grade, we were dumb. So we get into history class. Yes, the same history class. It was a pretty small school. We were studying the Chinese religious beliefs and the dynasties, and as a reward for finishing the unit, we went on a field trip. Believe it or not, this was actually the only field trip we went on during all of middle school, unless you kind of volunteer cleanup. For the field trip, we went to the Chinese buffet. I know, best field trip ever. We all sat together, and then my friend Tanner decides to try some wasabi. We were all hyping him up and cheering his name, and the employees were looking at us like we were weirdos. And his face was struggling so bad. He was sweating, his face was red, and we were all just laughing so hard. And the best part was, it wasn't even like a big amount, it was just like a little spoonful. Fast forward to 7th grade, where I genuinely considered some of my classmates my friends. We started doing activities together outside of class. Specifically in study hall, card games were extremely popular at the time. There was about 15 different card games people would play. One of the teachers came up to us one day and asked if we ever played the card game Egyptian Rat Killer. We were all like, the heck is that? And basically it was a game where everyone got divided up the cards face down. We would each take turns in one motion, flipping it over and placing it into the pile in the middle. If it was the same number or face card, then the first person to slap the pile of cards would get to collect all the cards in the middle. The goal was to be the last one to run out of cards. The problem was multiple people would slap the pile sometimes at different reaction times. So most of the time, if you slap the cards first, someone or multiple people would slap their hand right on top of yours. I remember there was this one guy, Mark, who would wear a ring, and if his hand slammed down on top of yours, you had a red mark on your hand the whole day. It didn't really matter sometimes though, because he would still have red hands for a couple hours after playing this game. My strategy was, if I slapped first, I would immediately slide the cards toward me so I wouldn't get slapped. We had to constantly get on my friend Gavin for what he was doing. One of the rules of Egyptian Rat Killer was that you had to bring your hand down on top of the cards, but Gavin would just sweep them all towards him from the side. It was kind of funny, but it was annoying. Believe it or not, every year in middle school the science fair was actually required, which was kind of unfair considering some people in my class didn't really like science like at all. In 7th grade, there was actually a theme, though, this year. The theme was, like, plastic in the ocean. This was when, like, the hashtag Team C's trend started with Mark Rober and Mr. Beast. And everyone signed up for a day to present your science fair project. If you forgot your research at home, you had to present that day still. Yeah, guess what my friend Nathan did? He left it at home. So he goes up to the board, and he grabs a marker. Here's how his presentation goes. Hey guys, so this is plastic, right? Plastic is bad. And then there's fish. This is my fish. And it hurts the fish. And everyone was just dying after that. I think he still got like somewhat of a good grade just because of the effort. At this school, everyone had to bring their own lunch, except on days where you could pre-order pizza and stuff. Everyone sat outside to eat. So me and my friend Caleb were sitting on the basketball court, and he and I actually looked very similar. We were born on the same day, within 3 hours of each other, and our moms are actually from the same state, so that was strange. We were sitting there talking about different topics, and apparently fashion came into the picture. And we had the same fashion taste as well, because we both wore black unzipped jackets everywhere we went. I brought up how I had seen girls sometimes wearing oversized shirts combined with short shorts, and that combination allowed it to look like they were wearing no pants. I always found this weird, and I told Caleb about it, because I just wasn't sure why this was like a big fashion trend. And he just responded casually saying, "Yeah, when I was younger, I thought people like that weren't wearing pants, so I just went on with my life assuming that that was a normal thing for someone not to wear pants." Right as he was saying that, the principal walked by us and just stopped. And he just turned around to us and said, "You know those times where you don't hear all the conversation? I'm just going to go now." And he and I were just rolling around on the ground laughing. One of the cool things about the building being shared was that a couple times a year the church did a bake sale. And during lunch, you could actually go down to the bake sale and like buy stuff if you brought money from home. I went down with Gavin once, and we got our stuff, and we had to pay. He was in front of me, and he put his cookie up there. The people running this event were like pretty elderly, and apparently they couldn't read their handwriting as far as the prices went. So she rings up the cookie, and she says, 25 cents? And Gavin says, "Yep." And the price on the sticker literally said 75 cents. So, like, I paid for my stuff, and I jokingly confronted him about it. And I was like, "Oh, my gosh, you scammed those ladies 50 cents. Gavin, you're a monster." And he was just like, "Shh, no one will know." It was pretty funny afterwards, though, and it was always a joke that was brought up at every single bake sale after that. Something interesting that happened at one bake sale was my friend Adam bought a cake and then ended up dropping it on the floor on the way back to the classroom. I mean, it was in a container, though, so they all still ate it. So we're back to history class, this time in 8th grade. More age, less maturity. So my boy Mason goes to the bathroom. And this time, when no one is looking, I snatch his Hydro Flask water bottle off his desk. And Caleb is sitting beside me, so he sees, and he just smiles. Mason comes back from the bathroom minutes later, and right as he sits down, I put his water bottle on his chair. Now, I want to make some things clear here. I put it down facing towards me on its side. Keep this in mind. Mason sits down, immediately jumps up, and falls out of his chair. And he just yells, and he's like, "Why did you stick that water bottle up my butt?" And then he sits back down. Surprisingly, I did not get punished for this. I probably should have. And Caleb and I are just talking, and I was like, "He didn't stick it up his butt. What is he talking about?" And, a few minutes later, Caleb taps me on the shoulder and shows me 2 pictures. And he drew the difference for me between what I did and what Mason thought happened. I no longer have the original pictures, but I can picture them in my mind, and I will do my best to recreate them. Here they are. Well, that's all for today on what some of my middle school experiences were. 10 likes, and I'll do a part 2 with even better stories. I might even be able to get in contact with Gavin and ask if he remembers any more stories. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that sub and like button, and I'll see you guys next time.